Dude, ranked is so stressful. Let me switch to yeah, merge tactics exists. I almost forgot. Whoa, this guy is new. I don't remember him. Yes, the first merge tactics update is here. We have 2 new rulers, making it 4 to choose from. A bunch of new troops with new traits, new modifiers with the removal of some old ones, season trophy reset with badges for your finishes, and some UI changes. Let's start with troops. Skeleton Dragons will be a 2 elixir undead ranger troop. The way this troop works is that every hit will fill up the yellow bar under its HP, and when the bar is full, it triggers its super and splits into 2 skeleton dragons. Now if you notice, when it splits, it loses half of its HP, which makes it very strong DPS wise but extremely weak to splash attacks. The losing HP thing persists in every single split, not just the first one, so you will eventually have a ton of low HP skeleton dragons if you protect them well enough. Upgrading the stars on the skeleton dragon will make the splitting require less attacks, therefore happen more frequently. And it's important to note that the cloned skeleton dragons do not count towards damage when you knock out the enemy ruler. Next we have Wizard, a 2 elixir fire mage troop. The wizard is likely one of the simplest troops in this game mode as he has no ability whatsoever. Basically it's just strong splash damage in somewhat a small area that deals more damage and attacks faster the more stars he has. Next we have Musketeer, a 3 elixir noble blaster. She has an attack based ability, so every attack will fill up the super bar slightly. The ability shoots 3 targets, stuns them and knocks them back. The difference in stars only changes the number of hits required to trigger the super, so a 3-star Musketeer will only push back 3 targets, just like the 1-star Musketeer one. Only she will do it more often because it only needs 2 shots now. Next we got Electro Giant, a 3 elixir electric avenger troop. His ability is time based, so you could technically play him in the back, so he would charge it up a bit before he starts getting damaged. Increasing the stars doesn't make the ability trigger faster or last longer, but it increases the duration of the stun it does. This means at higher stars he might be able to permanently stun some troops that are inside his electric field. Next we got Witch, a 4 elixir undead avenger troop. Her ability is time based, so increasing her attack speed wouldn't get you more skeletons, and increasing her stars doesn't increase the spawn speed. However, it does increase the number of skeletons spawned every wave. If you notice here, the skeletons are more tanky at 3 stars. That's because their stats is basically half the witch's HP and damage, so maybe traits that increase max HP like Brawler can work well with the witch. Next we got Baby Dragon, a 4 elixir fire blaster troop. Remember Wizard? This is basically Wizard Premium. He has slower attack speed but more splash and more damage. Besides the insane damage, it also seems to have an instant attack speed once it switches targets. This could be a bug though. I know it's not based on kills because it killed the Ewiz and didn't insta-shoot because it was locked on the archer. And then we got Ewiz, a 4 elixir electric mage troop. His ability is also time based, so it will always be charging even if he was stunned. What the ability does is basically stuns and damages 4 targets. If you increase his stars, his ability cooldown becomes faster and it will target more troops, but the stun duration remains the same. The reason is most likely because back then in Clash Mini some strategies allowed for perma-stunning, and if you played the game back then you know how toxic every Ewiz meta was, so I guess a time-based ability with low stun duration would prevent that. So now having a 3-star or likely even a 4-star Electro Wizard will not result in an auto win, as the enemy troops will have some window to attack. Now let's take a look at the new rulers. First we have Goblin Queen, which originates from the Goblin Road update. The ability she has gives you a 40% chance of getting a random goblin when you kill an enemy. Mind you, this is per enemy troop, not per enemy ruler, so you can get multiple ones in the same round if you are lucky. The way this plays is that it will mostly be like this Goblin synergy, i.e. farm at first to gain huge elixir lead, and then cash in your stuff and start 3-starring as many troops as you can to create your final build. Even playing it in a non-goblin based comp can work because the goblins she gives you is just free elixir. Next we have Elixir Lung, which is a new original character based on this Chinese dragon. I probably know him from this like old zombie game we used to play as kids. The 5 elixir per round allows you to start with the 5 cost troop on round 1, which can be nice if you really wanted one. The extra team size makes you extremely strong early game because having 4 troops on round 2 is just ridiculous. And it also is very strong late game because 7 slots allows for combos no one else can go for, like 4 clan, 4 ranger. Yeah, 4 ranger is a thing now. I think this will be the best ruler by far. Let's take a look at the new traits cause some of you all are probably confused about the 4 ranger thing. Thrower had its name changed to blaster and it's now a 2-4 trait. The difference between the 2 and 4 buff is basically some extra damage for every hex, so it doesn't grant a second extra tile of range. Avenger was also changed to a 2-4 trait and the difference in the buff is an extra damage buff, so I guess the last standing buff is the same at 2 or 4. Probably, that's like my guess here. Ranger got nerfed because 4 Rangers buff is the same as the old 3 Ranger one, but the 2 Ranger buff is kind of like a nice side trait to go for. Assassin was buffed by this 2-4 change because it now has some critical chance instead of just jumping into the back, which is cool. First new trait is Mage and it turns the strongest enemy into a useless funny rabbit for 7 seconds. Those 7 seconds of delay on their main DPS is nearly game winning, and to add on top of that, you can still damage their troops even when they are a rabbit, so it's a very strong ability for a 2 trait buff. Second new trait is Electric and it strikes all enemies once after 10 seconds. If they were stunned, it strikes them 3 times instead. This 10-second thing is no random number, as it is exactly as long as it takes for the Electro Giant's ability to start stunning, and I think it also is long enough for a second Ewiz ability on some star levels, so it's a really well designed ability. Final new trait is Fire and it deals bonus stackable damage on enemies' defeat. Notice how when the wizard killed an enemy, he gained some fire aura, while the baby dragon has no aura. Now shortly after the baby dragon kills someone, he also gains aura. Furthermore, some troop traits were changed, like the Valkyrie losing Avenger and getting Juggernaut. Bandit is no longer an Avenger, but she is now an assassin, so she can jump on the enemy side. P.E.K.K.A lost Juggernaut and gained Avenger, so basically swapped with Valkyrie. And there was a big change in modifiers. I won't go over them one by one because the game isn't in a state where I can easily test them one by one, but I'll go over them like this and you can pause and read if you want. Basically, some new ones were added and some old ones were removed. Oh, and Bomber was removed from the game. Rest in peace, Bomber. Now for quality of life changes, there is a new UI for HP bars up there that looks like space, and the opponents you are gonna face will have some red fires around them. The opponent's troop will no longer be mirrored when you are spectating, so you can scout easier now. I still miss the prince. I have some issues, bro. I'm like there's no hope in me. When the match starts, now the opponent's troop will drop slowly instead of just appearing. You can now see the opponent's synergy, which is very helpful. I don't know why this wasn't available from the start. The opponent's bench will now show some mystery fog on the slots that have a troop on them, which kind of like provides some nice clarity. The game will no longer force you to fill your slots, so you can throw early rounds as Royal King for extra elixir if you want. Winning will give you some extra confetti for your efforts, I guess. New victory screen shows you the rewards and trophies you earned, and swiping shows you the end game stats and the builds of everyone. There will now be a number counting down when the round is almost over, and numbers that show the damage taken by the opponent, which I guess is a nice touch. Now for skins, most of them are just recolors, but there are some special skins. First one is the Astral Impress, which kind of like a school uniform. It gives some anime vibes. The second one is, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, but that's basically the Queen's special skin. And the third one is the Aqualung, and those skins are probably gonna cost real money, unlike the Three Colors one, which I guess is understandable. Oh, I honestly almost forgot. Season reset will be monthly now, and the season reset will be kind of like 1 week after their Clash Royale reset, so the players wouldn't have to pick between one of the 2 games. You can push in Clash Royale, and then once the resets happen, you can push in Merge Tactics. Basically, it's kind of like you have 2 busy weeks instead of just 1. Maybe I'll play this mode more, my dudes.